What is up, guys? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul
and John.
Bringing you the latest on Big Brother. Okay, guys, we just had a cast reveal for Big Brother 24, and it's a little late in the game here. I'm actually kind of annoyed that they waited until the day before the premiere to do with the cast. What do you think, John?
Yeah, other seasons give us more of a chance to deep dive when they give us like almost a week before it, but it came out at 3 p.m. today, Eastern Time, a little more than 24 hours until the premiere, which gives us enough time to just see what has been on the surface, but not too much has been revealed just yet.
Right. So, there's also not too much info on this cast either. So, people are like doing deep dives and stuff on like their social media and stuff like that. I'm not that interested in that. I have looked at it a little bit, but it is what it is. We'll do just a general take on how their gameplay is going to be, or what we think based on like their small little snippet of interview that they've had. So yeah, for sure. And with that, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. So we have our first contestant. Let's move this down here.
Move that down there so we're not covering her face.
So we have ALYSSA SNIDER. She is 24. She's from lives in Siesta Key, Florida, and she's also from there. She's a customer service rep and a marketing agent. So, first impressions, what are you thinking, John?
Yeah, I think she seems pretty nice off the bat. We saw some of her interviews where she seems like she's watched all of the seasons, has some good strategy down. She actually knows ALYSSA from last season because they're from the same hometown, so they share the same hometown, the same name. I think there's a chance they went to the same school or something like that, but it seemed like they know each other already.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, so if she got the chance to talk to her about last season, I think that ALYSSA was one of the strong players. She was one of the last ones eliminated outside of the cookout.
Pre-cookout, yeah.
Pre-cookout, yep. So if she's spoken to ALYSSA from last season, it might make her a really strong competitor for this season, combined with her experience.
Yeah, I agree with that. I remember, and again, I could be misremembering, but I remember her saying that she liked the strong female players like in the past, and she brought up some very like big names of like people from past seasons, like from pretty long ago, and I was very impressed by that. And I think that maybe she'll have some of that kick-ass girl energy that is much needed in Big Brother these days, and maybe even some of that old school energy too. If she's bringing up like old names like that, I'm pretty sure she mentioned like Janelle and even like people from like even earlier than that, which is pretty cool in my opinion.
Yep. Also, when we look at her job, she works as a customer service rep. So I think that people in that position are usually pretty good at diffusing when others are arguing with them or trying to get their way, trying to find like a happy medium. So if ALYSSA's solid at her job, it could apply over to here too.
Yeah, for sure. I actually think she'll do pretty well. I'm not, I think, she's an attractive woman. I think a lot of the guys she might have a lot of the guys under her thumb, and plus she has just that badass girl energy that I was mentioning before. I think she could go far as long as she doesn't talk too much early and like make it seem like she's like doing like an all girls thing or something like that.
Right.
Because that would be dangerous. But I don't think she has that kind of mentality. So I think she'll end up being good.
Yeah. For sure.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to our next contestant. So we have Amira Jones. She is 31, born and raised in Westminster, Maryland, and she is a UX content designer.
Do you know what that is?
No. What is UX content designer?
If anyone knows, then can comment down below to educate us a little bit better.
Or if anyone's
that'd be great.
Or if anyone's watching live, let us know. So, general first impressions, John. Anything come to mind?
Honestly, nothing too crazy. I think she's about the medium age for this season.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the contestants are late 20s, early 30s. So
Yep.
that doesn't really put her at an advantage or disadvantage, but more like if she can relate to people her age, she'll kind of be in the middle ground, at least before it starts.
Mm-hmm.
I could see her going far. She was very well spoken when it came to explaining her strategies and who she plans to be in an alliance with. One thing that she said which caught my attention was if it came down to picking an ally or a weaker player to take to the final two, that she would take the weaker player. So you could tell that she's more about winning than she is about making friendships here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just having that kind of mentality is kind of what you need in Big Brother. Like, you have to... So, there's, like, a big thought process that, you want to take your friend to the end. But a lot of times, that friend is just another vote for you in the jury. So, it makes a lot of sense to want to take the weaker player. But, it's also... You also have to be smart about it as well. So it's a little complicated to maneuver that, and we'll see if she ends up being in that situation. But it looks like she's got a good head on her shoulders and understands, like, the basic gameplay. I'm not sure how far she'll get. Probably middle of the pack, I'd say. If she makes it far, that would be great. But I know there's a lot of people that seem like they're real gamers this season, so I think it'll be tough competition.
Yeah. So one thing we'll do throughout this podcast too, that we usually do in our cast analyses, is tell you who we think our final three will be, and then who we think our winner will be. We also say who we think will get eliminated first. So you'll get a juicy scoop of who we think is going to perform badly right off the jump.
Right, and we've had at least I've had mixed results with my predictions. Sometimes I predicted correct winners, and sometimes I've been completely off the mark and they've been first out. So it's it'll be fantastic. But I'm thinking middle of the pack for Amira. So let's go to a third contestant. All right, we got our girl Brittany Hoops. She is 32 years old. She is born and raised in Austin, Texas, and still lives there, and she's a hypnotherapist. So, Brittany seemed to be making some waves, like on Twitter. People seem to really like her. Yep. She's given me some mixed feelings here, personally. So, a lot of times people come in the game thinking they have, like, this grand old, like, way of psychologically manipulating people, or, using some sort of techniques from their past, from, like, their jobs, and think that's going to help them out in the game. And I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It doesn't usually work. Big Brother is different from, like, a lot of games, though. I know, like, in BB16 it worked for Derek. Like, he knows how to, he knew how to, like, ingratiate himself in a group setting. But I don't think, like, the psychology mindset really works, because it's not really an isolated setting. So, it's more of, like, moving parts. So that's why I think Derek, was able to run in that situation. But, we'll see what happens with Brittany. She says that she really likes Nicole Anthony. She wants to be really good friends with her. And honestly, Brittany seems like a very sweet person. So I'm kind of excited to see what she does.
Yeah, she does seem like she's going to be a very nice person.
And a super fan.
Yeah, she said that she's watched every season, so a lot of respect to Brittany for that one. Mm-hmm. I do think that just because she's a hypnotherapist, it will give her more of an advantage versus just being a therapist, because it sounds like she, like, does some manipulation for her job.
You think so?
Yeah, so if that's the case, then she might be able to get votes on her side, and make it appear so that she's not the one making the decisions too.
Honestly, like, if she can do that, I would love it. I'm the person who wants to see that kind of stuff the most. But but I'm skeptical. People have claimed to have this power before in these games, and most of the time they're blowing smoke up there. Woohoo! So we'll see what happens. But I'm wishing the best for her. And if she whoops out some crazy hypnotherapist stuff on, like, the contestants, I'm gonna be clapping, because I'm gonna be so excited.
Imagine she brings, like, a little pendulum that's just like, and the whole cast is just in the daze for until September. 90
days under her thumb the entire time.
You will eliminate Amira.
You will vote for me in jury.
That would be a crazy season.
That would actually be sick. that would. But yeah, I think, I don't know. I'm getting, like, mixed things from Brittany. I think she'll actually make it far, though. I'm thinking, like, final 6-ish is where I place her. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say about final 6. We'll see who else. She could give me final 3 vibes, but I just want to see who else we have on this wonderful cast.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely got a lot of people. All right, we got our boy Daniel Durston. He is a 35-year-old from Ontario, California, currently living in Las Vegas. He is an Elvis impersonator. Okay.
Okay, don't really see Elvis in his face, but
Like
maybe with all the makeup and everything.
Yeah, yeah. And I recently went to the Graceland recently, and I don't really see too much of Elvis in him. Maybe the bottom half of his face, and maybe the eyes a little bit, but I think it's mostly the hair that's throwing me off because obviously Elvis is not blonde.
Do you think he tries to impersonate young, like blue suede shoes Elvis, or like older peanut butter and banana sandwiches Elvis?
If I had to just take a pure guess, I think he probably just did it for a long time, Yeah. So he probably started with younger days, and now he's starting to do the mid 30s. And I mean, Elvis didn't live a very long time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So there's only so much time you can impersonate him.
Right.
I've heard there was some controversy with Daniel Durston. I'm not quite sure what it is. Maybe he knows a past contestant or something along those lines. I've seen rumors about it on Twitter. I didn't want to dwell too much into it. From what I saw from his interviews stuff with those brief questions was that he did watch all the seasons. So he is a fan of Big Brother, and at the very least, I'm happy about that. So whether or not there's controversy, that could be... that has nothing to do with the game.
I kind of get the vibe he's going to be the most fun person in the house.
Yeah, he'll probably be pretty... Yeah, I think he'll be entertaining, honestly. I mean, literally being like an Elvis impersonator, you have to be able... you have to act. So if he has that... If he can act, I think he'll pretty much do okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Placement, though, he kind of... Sometimes fun people, and again, we don't even know if he's fun, but sometimes...
He could be Miz.
Yeah, he could be mid. So sometimes fun people have this thing where they're too annoying, and I don't know why, I just kind of get that feeling from looking at him. I feel like he'll be a little too much for people, and they'll just want him out early. So I think he'll be a pre-jury boot personally. Thoughts, John?
I don't think he'll be final three, but I think he'll be one of the first jury members. I think he'll be in the middle. I don't think he's going to be one of the first ones out, unless he tries to do something like Frenchie did last year, where he tries to take control really quick, winning an HOH and turning it around. So if Daniel is a little bit crazy like how Frenchie played, I could see him being one of the first ones out.
He's giving me Matt vibes from Big Brother 21. I don't even know if you guys remember this guy. I don't even know if his name was Matt, thinking back on it. It's been so long since I've seen that season. But he kind of gives me Matt vibes. He kind of has a similar face, minus but obviously Matt has a more looks a little bit more conservative than this guy. This guy looks like he's a little more loose. But Matt was pretty fun. If that was the guy's name, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. All right. Anyway, let's check out our next contestant. We have INDY SANTOS. She is from Brazil, currently living in Los Angeles, California. She's a private jet flight attendant. Now that's actually an interesting position. So private jets are I've heard stories about private jets recently. People go on it and and they basically cater to you, and it's actually a pretty sick experience from what I've heard. Obviously, I'm not made of money, and neither are anyone that I know, but when you hear rich people talk about it, people some streamers or something mentioned it recently.
Yeah, she's probably gonna have some great stories about people that she's driven on the flights and taken care of. So if she comes into the house as a very interesting person, I think she could really set an interesting dynamic in the house. Mm-hmm. She said that she models herself after Xavier from last season, who played a very calculated game and knew when to through competitions.
And it was a kind person, I believe she said. So
yeah, so it seems like she's very loyal. If I don't see Indy being the alliance maker, but I see her guiding alliances pretty far. So I could see her getting pretty far in this competition.
Yeah, I can see her just whipping out competition wins and maybe becoming. I don't think she'll be like a game, a chess piece mover, on her own volition, but for some reason I just see her like winning competitions and being put in that role. Like I just see it happening, and I don't know why I get that impression. So I just want to move this a little bit to the right. It's getting like OCD or something, or whatever it is, whatever it is. So yeah, I think Indy's actually gonna be put in that position. I don't know what people have been saying about her, but I actually think she'll do pretty well.
Yep. Just one downside that she has is that I don't believe English is her first language.
Right. If she's from Brazil, it's probably Portuguese. That's her first language, so she might have a hard time understanding like slang, for instance. But again, I don't know how long she's been in the United States for. It could have been that she was born in Brazil for 5 years and then moved to California. Like I have no idea. So for all we know, she can understand it all like perfectly well. But what do you think?
Yeah. We'll see how it plays out during the season. Her interviews, she seemed to be speaking pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's just something to definitely look out for.
Mm-hmm. For sure. It's cool having people, from other countries go on the show, or who are born in other countries rather. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool, especially normally we would get normally you would expect Latino or like European or something, but it's cool to see someone from like Brazil, and maybe a few other countries. I know we have a man from Nigeria later that we'll be talking about as well. So yeah, I'm thinking early jury for Indy. Thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna make it to jury.
You're thinking pre-jury?
Yeah,
that's fair. All right, let's talk about Jasmine Davis. All right, she is 29 years old. Her hometown is Terry, Mississippi. Her current city is Atlanta, Georgia, and she's the owner of Press On Nail Company. I mean, just looking at her, she looks like the owner of a Press On Nail Company.
Yeah, she looks like she should star on HGTV selling what she does. That's pretty interesting that she owns a company already at age 29. Mm-hmm. I think that she's not going to be in much of a need as the money as other people on the show. I don't know how that'll play into it, but she seemed to be like a very loyal player just from her pregame interviews. And I believe that she said she would take her ally with her to the end if she was in that position.
Right, yeah. So, it seems like she's more of a loyal player. I mean, she's from the South. She has kind of like that country accent. And you kind of get like when John first saw it, he was like, "Oh, where's that accent from?" It's like it kind of sounds Southern, but I wasn't too sure. But it kind of goes out. It kind of definitely revealed itself as she spoke more. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so she's probably got that loyal Southern attitude. So if she makes an alliance with someone, you can kind of expect her to, kind of abide by it. I'm not sure how far she'll go if she's in that big, there's always that big alliance, and if she's in that big alliance, then she'll be fine. I don't know why I don't think she'll be in it. I think she might be an early boot. It'll be pre-jury. It's disappointing, but that's just what I'm expecting from her.
Yeah, I'm getting early boot vibes, like possibly one of the first ones out. But we'll see, because I think it's tough with the first week. There's usually a scramble. Like, no one really knows what to do for the first elimination. So even if she is a good player, she could just be the first one out. And
yeah, for sure. So, that's just what we're expecting, unfortunately. But, maybe she'll prove us wrong. All right, we have Kyle Carpenter. He is a 29-year-old man from Bountiful, Utah. Still lives there. And his occupation is tech sales. I think this guy is in hot water for some reason on Twitter. People are complaining about something or another. I don't know too much about it. And to be honest, if it has nothing to do with this gameplay, I don't care. He seemed like he kind of knew what he was talking about gameplay wise. But, it's always hard to tell. With these guys. What do you think, John?
Yeah, definitely hard to tell with him. I think we saw in some pre-ranking that he's one of the bottom 3 least favorites already. Mm-hmm. So if it comes to America making decisions, he might not have support at all coming off the bat. I'm not even sure what he did. But is this the guy that is on TikTok?
I don't know.
I think my girlfriend said that one of them is on TikTok. If it's Kyle, then I'll have to check it out. But if he's already like kind of like an internet celebrity, maybe other people know him in advance already. It could put a target on his back. But honestly, I'm all for the drama in the house. Like,
yeah, I'm for it too.
It just makes it more entertaining. Like if everyone's just very like milk toast and they want to just vote with the house.
I mean, like, no offense, this guy looks milk toast. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
like he looks milk toast. But if he comes with controversy and is able to like grab that heel roll, then he'll become one of my favorites, even if he's getting canceled like by people already pre-show.
Right. I mean, and you know, we'll see what happens with him. I think he'll be. Let me think here. I'm thinking pre-jury, probably like fourth or fifth boot, probably. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking middle of the pack, like one of the first on the jury.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. You know, he gives me like he has like the look of someone who's gonna make an alliance. He's just gonna be like, okay, let's make an alliance. You, let's do it.
Yep.
You know, basically. So we'll see what happens. He is in sales, so he definitely has that, like, definitely knows how to speak to people, but we don't know if he's good at sales.
True.
Just differentiating sales between personal relationships, etc. Talk about Marvin ACHI, I think it was pronounced, something along those lines. He is a 28-year-old man. He is from Rivers State, Nigeria, and he's currently living in Houston, Texas, and he's a chemical engineer. All right, so this guy's looking pretty impressive. Chemical engineer, it's pretty good. What do you think, Mayor?
Yeah, I don't think it's really like a social role, but it definitely highlights his intelligence. I'm curious to see if he's going to let people know that he's an engineer, or if he's going to keep that concealed fact. And then also, interestingly, he's one of 2 international players in this game, because I don't think there was anyone from Canada, right?
No, I don't think there was anyone from Canada for Big Brother this year. So yeah, so we got the girl from Brazil and this guy from Nigeria. So I think it's a pretty interesting combination.
Yep. Second person from Texas, so maybe he'll relate to Brittany a little bit in that regard too. And then one thing I got from him was it was a little difficult to understand his confessional, or not confessional, his
interview.
His pre-show interview. He seemed a little bit nervous, so I think he might be coming into the house a little nervous of what he can do. But if he can make it past the beginning, I think he'll situate himself and be a good player. Yeah,
for sure. So it really depends on the social relationships that he forms early on. I'm not sure how far he'll go. There have been people that have been like chemical engineer, well, not chemical engineers specifically, but people with similar roles that have gone out early because people feel threatened by them. So he doesn't seem like the guy that would lie about his profession, although I don't remember. I don't remember if he would in his interview or not, but right. I don't believe that he talked about it. So I think people might see chemical engineer, might think he's too smart, and might target him early. So I'm a little worried about him for that reason. So I'm thinking another early boot.
Yeah, for Marvin, I'm feeling first boot.
Really? Okay.
I don't want it to be true. He looks like he'd be a great player, but I'm seeing first boot potential with Marvin.
Well, we'll see. We'll see tomorrow night, everyone. All right. So sorry, Marvin. Prove us wrong, though, please. All right. Now we have Michael Bruner. He is a 28-year-old man from Rochester, Minnesota. He is an attorney. All right. So this guy has watched all the seasons. This guy was talking like, and he's one of the favorites, I think, so far from people I see on Twitter. So he kind of ticks all the marks of the Big Brother super fan from home going to play Big Brother finally. Obviously we always stan these people, but it's hard to know how they'll actually do in the house because sometimes they're not ready. You know what I mean? So John, what do you think?
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that assessment too. A lot of people will go into the house thinking they know how to play, but living amongst like 15 other people for months straight, it's not an easy task.
He could do it, but who knows?
Yeah, so it's something that like you don't know going in. So any of these people could really win, despite their descriptions. But Michael seems very, very intelligent. He seems like he knows when to make moves in the game, just based off his pre-show interviews.
Yeah.
And like because of all that, I could see him going pretty far, like Final 3.
Yeah, I can see him going pretty far as well. But he can, in my viewpoint, like he can talk the talk. I want to see him walk the walk now. I want to see him walk. Actually, I don't want to just see him walk. I want to see him run.
Run, Michael, run.
Run. Run, Michael. So, yeah, I'm actually really excited about Michael. I think he's also going to go far. But, I have to stand the people that watch the show. It is what it is. And there's actually been a lot of them this season. A lot of people have claimed, a lot of people say they have. A lot of people have claimed to have watched a lot of the past seasons, and I'm really happy that they're doing that, or they're
Very true. A lot of people will say they do and then just watch 16 and 20. So it's like, are you really a fan like us, or are you just someone who's watched like a season?
Yeah, 16, 20. I mean, 20 is good, but whatever. All right. Anyway, so let's go to. Yeah, I'm thinking jury, somewhere in the jury, maybe Final 3. That's not a bad pick for him. Monty Taylor. He is a 27-year-old man from Bear, Delaware, currently living there as well, and he is a personal trainer. So I don't quite remember his interview stuff, but I remember liking what I saw. Do you remember anything from the top of your head?
Yeah, he just seems very confident. He knows that he's going to be a threat in competitions right away, just based off his
physical prowess.
Physical
personal
abilities.
Trainer makes a lot of sense.
So he said he might have to tone that down a little bit. But he seems like he's the kind of person that like is really cool, like you want to talk to. I think he's going to make some good relationships in the house. Just based off his pre-interview.
I can see him being the one to make the big alliance early. So I can see that kind of forming. He has that personal trainer background, so he's got that toughness, and I think he'll probably want to immediately surround himself with people. That's what these people like to do. Like the big strong people, they try to get alliance going early to protect themselves, so they have the numbers going forward, so they don't automatically get booted off one by one. Now, I wish other types of players would do this too, but they don't. A lot of people like playing the long game. That's not what that's not what Big Brother is these days, unfortunately. It was more fun back then. But I think it'll be interesting to see how he develops, and I want to see if he would, how exactly he'll tone that stuff down.
Yeah. Honestly, like being confident is a blessing and a curse when it comes to the game.
Yeah.
Just because, like, if other people find you annoyingly confident, then you're just someone that they want to boot. Like, even if it doesn't mean anything for their strategy at the moment, you're just the target because people are just annoyed with how you act. So that Monty also has big potential for that one. I saw also in the interviews that it didn't seem like he watched too many previous seasons of the show. So maybe he doesn't have the knowledge of like alliance building, when to make game-changing moves.
Sometimes that's better.
Yeah.
And sometimes
learning as you go, yeah.
And sometimes it's not. But we'll see soon enough. I'm thinking I'm thinking late game for him.
Yeah, late game. I'm not sure Final 3 yet. We still got to see the others.
Yes, we got a couple of others on the list. All right, we got Nicole Leog. Apologies if pronouncing that incorrectly. She is 41 years old. She is from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, currently living there as well. She is a private chef. It's actually an interesting little tidbit, being a private chef. I'm not even sure what that would like encompass. You think she's like a private chef for like people hire, or if like you think it's private chef for like one person?
Yeah, maybe like for events and stuff. But like if it's for one person, I always wondered how it worked, because it's like if they're hungry at midnight, are you just gonna like stop what you're doing and work, or like do you have certain hours?
Yeah, I think a lot of times well, for certain individuals. I'm not sure for her. They might like live at the house or whatever. Anyway. So Nicole said that she was also a former police officer, and a lot of people these days are pretty anti-cop, and especially with Derek Levasseur and Baby 16, a lot of people didn't like how he dominated that season, and dominated, yada yada, however you want to put it. As a viewer of the show, dominated is how I'm putting it. So I think she admires Derek a lot from that season, and she's also not going to tell people that she used to be a police officer. And we'll see if it even helps. Not a lot of people have like some people are police officers. It doesn't really help.
Yeah.
Like we've definitely had cops play this game before that didn't really have it assist them. What do you think of Nicole?
Yeah, when I think of Nicole, like I'm very happy to hear that she's gonna hide the fact that she was a officer. I just like when people are proving like right off the bat they have the ability to be deceptive, and to like hide information from others. I'm curious if she's gonna tell like Alliance members that she goes along with that she is a cop.
Probably not. No.
But I guess it really depends on like how comfortable she is with certain people.
Like it's very interesting, like looking at like her picture, and seeing like cop Nicole, like, oh, I can see it, and then private chef Nicole, oh, I can see it, and like the way you imagine her being like completely changes based on like saying one of the two in front of her name. So I think a lot of people, because she's going to be presenting herself as a private chef, I think they're going to think that she's probably a little bit more open. They might see her as like, she's 41 years old, so they might see her as like a motherly type. But also she is older. I'm not sure how athletic she is. I mean, again, she is a former cop, so there has to be some physical prowess to her. But age catches up to everybody, so we'll have to see how in shape she is. But she looks relatively fit.
Yeah, I think she's the second oldest person on the season. We haven't analyzed yet, I believe, who the oldest is yet.
Yeah.
But Nicole is definitely in the upper range, so her connection to people younger than her is going to be important. I also think like her being a chef is going to create value for herself, like in the beginning. Like she'll just make like some really good food for everybody, and everyone's like, and then like not even think about eliminating her until.
Well, here's the thing about Big Brother, about people that cook. So the problem is that Big Brother doesn't give you a lot of ingredients. So a lot of times the chefs like use all the ingredients early on in the week, and then there's no food left like at the end of the week, and they end up being like, they get pissed off at the chef for that reason. So
yeah.
It's kind of funny, and that's kind of like a Big Brother tradition of it's like a Big Brother trap, getting caught into like the cooking role. It's really managing how to do it. I'm not even sure if she is going to offer those services. Like honestly, I just wouldn't if I was her.
If I was on the show, I would just eat chips, like.
Well, until you run out.
Until you run out, and then I'm eating brownies.
Yeah, there you go. That works. I mean, just the kind of meals you need for that big physical competition.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I actually think she'll make jury. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking jury as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got Paloma Aguilar. She is 22 years old, from San Marcos, California. Still lives there, and she's a home remodeler. I remember being impressed with her. Do you remember anything specifically?
I don't really remember anything she said specifically, but she definitely spoke with confidence about herself and her abilities, which I think is good for a player. Yeah. She's the youngest on the show.
Yeah.
So I think it could impact like how differently she speaks with others too, and how she fits into alliances.
For sure. She's also a home remodeler, so she'll probably be good at a lot of the competitions that have to do with like noticing like differences and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Well, I'm a pro.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually think she's gonna do very well this season. A lot of times the younger cast members are, they hire someone young that doesn't really know the show. She seems like she kind of knows the show, so I think she'll actually do very well, and I actually think she'll make it like even jury. I'm hoping this, saying this doesn't bite me in the butt, but I think she'll make it very far and do pretty well. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I think she's gonna go far too. Like, I'm thinking her as like a final 3 candidate. But
Ooh.
I'll say everything when we're towards the end.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, Paloma, don't let me down. All right, now we have look at those blue eyes, very nice. All right, we have Joe PUCCIARELLI, also known as Pooch. He's 23 years old, from Staten Island, New York. Currently living in Boca Raton, Florida. He's a master's student and assistant football coach. So he's from Staten Island. We're also from Staten Island, so pretty big. I'm not a big fan, but
he represents us. So Joe, you have to win this. If you don't, we know where you live. So it's somewhere on this island. We'll find you.
Actually, he's in Boca Raton.
Okay, so we'll search, but we wouldn't find you.
Right, pretty much.
One thing about Joe is that he's a football coach, and when he was talking in his interviews, he was talking like very like that. I think that he's gonna have trouble connecting with the women on the show.
You think so?
He seems like he wants to make. He's like, if someone's gonna make the guy alliance, it's gonna be Pooch.
Yeah, I think I could see a guy alliance. And I remember like during the interview, he's like, "Yeah, my guys and my girl." Like he didn't say my girls. He said my girl. So I'm thinking he also wants a showmance. I don't know. Maybe it will happen. Maybe it won't. Big brother makes for strange bedfellows, as they say. So it could be possible. I unfortunately think though that he'll end up being an early boot. I don't want him to be, because we like repping Staten Island here, but unfortunately I'm seeing early boot. What do you think?
I think he's gonna win the first HOH.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting like first HOH winner vibes.
Oh no, this is BB21 all over again.
Yeah, so I honestly could see him going kind of far. Like it's weird, but if he's like good at competitions and can get closer with the guy players and form an alliance because of it, it could get him like a little bit further. Like I could see him making it to like early jury.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. He'll probably, I think he'll have like a lot of loyalty to people too. He's got that he's got that Italian side to him, and Italians are all about loyalty, despite what people might say.
Yeah. He's also the second youngest on the show. He looks older though. Like when I first saw him, I was like, yeah, this guy's like almost 30.
Yeah, but if he shaved completely, you can tell that he just looks a lot younger. So it's really just that small amount of facial hair that he has that's actually bringing him up in age when you really take a good look at him. Also, damn, those blue eyes are just great. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he might get a showmance.
He could get a showmance. He definitely, you can tell he's the kind of guy that wants one.
I'm not here for the 750K. I'm here to find love.
Yeah, I'll be like the guy that gets into a showmance with a girl early on and then gets booted early. Mm-hmm. But the girl's still there and she makes it further, basically. All right, anyway, let's I'm thinking early boot. So sorry, Pooch. Staten Islanders can't do well on Big Brother every single season. Like, I'm sorry, it's got to end. It's got to end somewhere. It's ending here. All right, we have Taylor Hale. She is 27 years old. She is from Detroit, Michigan, and she is a personal stylist. I loved Taylor. So she's like a super fan of the show. She's watched every season. She was mentioning all the big names here. I'm excited to see her play. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited to see her play too. She is one of America's favorites so far. Just when we looked at like a poll of how people like her, I saw people today talking on Twitter about how great a strategy she speaks. So she definitely has a Stanhood already. Mm-hmm. I might join the Stanhood.
Yeah,
I think
same.
She's attractive. She speaks very well.
And she's a super
around
fan.
the same age.
Yeah.
And she's from the Detroit,
Michigan. So personal stylist. Honestly, I was just a big fan of her. I think she'll do well. Not much else I can say there. Her strategy seems good. She was referencing players from a long time ago. I think she was even mentioning like Big Brother 3, like, and stuff like that. Honestly, it was just very impressive.
I agree.
But it's going to be the same situation that Michael's in. They know the game, but can they deliver? We always hope that they can, but you just never know for sure. So fingers crossed for Taylor, and hopefully she can kind of recognize who the other people that know the game are. So I think if her and Michael have like an alliance in the game, I think they can get very far together, personally.
Yeah, I agree with that. I could see her possibly being one of the final 3.
Yeah,
if
possibly.
not late jury.
If not late jury, yeah. All right, let's see what we got next. All right, we have our man Terrence Higgins. He is 47 years old. He's from Chicago, Illinois, currently in Chicago, Illinois, and he's a city bus operator. Yeah, I don't think he'll do very well. Like, they were asking like a question, and he was like, "Yeah, my favorite contestants are Xavier and Derek," and I'm like, why do I get the feeling that the Derek he's talking about is not even the Derek you should be talking about? I think when he said that, he might have been talking about Derek Frazier from last season, which would have been.
I guess because he just made it. Like, if that's the only season the guy watched, then
it's possible
he's not going to be really experienced. He has a disadvantage because his age is a lot greater than anyone else's in the show. So he's probably going to be like a bit different than them. He is from like one of the cool cities though, Chicago. I find that a lot of good players in Big Brother come from Chicago or Illinois or near Chicago. So
okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, unless he builds the right connections early, he's got the age disadvantage. Doesn't seem like he knows the show that well. Again, maybe I was wrong. Maybe he does know the show. I think very early boot, could possibly first boot. I can't say for sure, but that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I say bottom 3.
Yeah.
Not first, because he may not be seen as like the first boot threat, but like just not fitting in tight.
I think he'll just be like, oh, easy first boot type thing, or just not vibing. Well, I mean, we'll see. Like, he could very well be very entertaining. He could play like a Cliff role in like BB21 or like Jerry and like BB10. Older players have done well in the past, but they haven't in the past most of the past seasons, unfortunately. So I'm thinking early boot. All right, let's go on to here's our controversial man of the day. We have Matthew Turner. He is a 23-year-old from North Attleboro, Massachusetts, and he's a thrift store owner. Okay, so I'm sure all of you already know this because, you're all ingrained in the social media space, as we all are. So apparently his sister posted some stuff about how Matthew's a bad person. Look, I don't know about any of that. That some stuff may be revealed over time. All we can speak to is how he'll present himself as a character on the show, or a player on the show, rather. Character is a misnomer. So how he presents himself as a player on the show. So, if he is a bad person, I think it'll be obvious to us, from watching. I don't know if he is. We'll find out soon enough. What do you think, John?
I think right off the bat, like, even if he's ends up like not being a bad person, I think he's going to be a wild card. Yeah. Just the way that he was talking, he seemed like the kind of person that was ready to shake things up, like make moves that go against alliances, blindside. All of that is stuff that I could see Matthew doing. Whether or not he fits in is another thing to think about too. I saw a story on Twitter, doesn't really relate to what I was just saying, but that he owns the thrift store and sold someone a record player that was broken. When they brought it back, he wouldn't refund it or anything, and kind of spoke them out of the store.
All right, so he's kind of like a manipulator then.
Yeah, he seems like he could be like confrontational, which could get him eliminated early if like he has a good idea but doesn't know how to really say it.
Right. So I guess it goes like, so it's how good he is at talking that's really gonna decide whether or not he goes for it or not. I take it.
Yes.
Again, personal feelings aside, there's already 2 bad things about him from the get-go. It's not looking too good for you, Matthew Turner, at least from the, you know, at least from the outside perspective.
Yeah.
But we'll see how he does inside the game.
I heard some rumblings that like America will have a vote early in the competition that may have some effect. Matthew already ranks as the lowest person because of his sister kind of putting him on blast on Twitter.
Yeah.
So if it's an advantage that really causes him to lose that first HOH, and then people kind of get a vibe of how his personality can be, he could be like one of the first boots. I think he'll be like a bottom three boot.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, the sister put him on blast, but like he also can't defend himself either. So it's a rough situation. Not to defend him at all, obviously.
Yeah.
If the allegations
like he's
are
probably
true.
sitting in his hotel room with like a robe and watching something and doesn't even know that.
Yeah, he's probably watching like Netflix or no, probably Paramount.
Yeah,
definitely watching Paramount
Plus.
Paramount Plus or something on CBS for sure, right, Big Brother.
Exactly.
Definitely watching the latest season of Big Brother 23, probably rewatching it for the strategies. All right, so yeah, I mean, a lot of controversy with Matthew. How I think he'll do, I from the stories I've heard, people say that he has that sort of manipulation thing, and it's one of the few people that we actually have anecdotal evidence that it's possible that he has it.
Yeah.
So he could potentially talk his way into like jury at least. What do you think?
I think he's gonna be like one of the outs, like pre-jury, like pretty close to it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Like right out pre-jury.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, so now we have the glory of picking our final three. Mayor, do you know who your people are?
I know two of them, and one of them I forgot their name, so I'm gonna see it. Yep, I got it now. Okay.
All right, let's start from the beginning here. All right, let's see. Go ahead, tell me when to stop.
Okay, so Daniel.
Wait, what? Oh, Daniel?
Daniel, I have it in my final three.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Daniel in my final three. Taylor in my final three.
Okay. Taylor, yeah.
And back to Monty.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, that's a pretty good final
And
three.
I think Monty wins.
You think Monty wins?
Yep.
All right, I dig it. I have my final three as well. I have my boy Michael. I have Taylor. And who else was I vibing with? I think it was Paloma. So yeah, so I think that's my final three. We'll see what happens. This could also be a final four, honestly, but we'll see. But yeah, that's my final three right now.
Who's your winner?
I'm thinking Taylor.
Taylor?
Yeah, I'm thinking Taylor wins it.
Yeah, I could definitely see her winning too.
And for first boot, I already said it. It's unfortunate, but I'm thinking it's going to be my boy Terrence Higgins.
Terrence, which one did I say before?
Let's see.
Marvin.
You said it was going to be Marvin?
Yep, I said Marvin.
All right, so he's thinking Marvin for first boot. I'm thinking Terrence, and it's unfortunate with Terrence. He's just the older player, and just it's happened statistically enough to justify predicting him to be the first boot. But could be a lot of different people. We'll see. So I have Taylor. You have
Monty.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are our picks to win. Let us know who your picks are to win below as well. I mean, we're also shooting this live, so if anyone just wants to type it in real quick, go right ahead and we'll see it.
We'll comment. Yeah, we'll be here for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, we'll
You're
be
on the clock.
Yeah, we'll be.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right. Anyway, guys, this has been a Big Brother 24 cast analysis. We are a Reality Room podcast. We've been doing this a long time. Took a little break, but we're kind of back here and there. We'll probably be doing, or at least I'll be doing some episode recaps, some live feed recaps I'll be doing as well. So keep an eye out for that, guys. It's going to be fun. Hopefully this season isn't an over-emotional roller coaster for the fans like the last couple of them have been. I don't know. I feel like recently I just got more emotionally involved in like the Big Brother seasons. I'm not sure it's just how it's the way it's editing, or if the players are just being, I don't know, particularly rude, or I don't know. It's weird. Like way more than years ago. Maybe I'm just getting more emotional as I age. John, what do you think?
You're getting more empathetic.
I don't think that's possible.
I'm already maxed out.
I'm maxed out, man. All right, John, any last words?
Nope, just that I love you all. Thank you for watching our podcast.
Yeah, thank you for watching our podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe down below if you enjoy this kind of content. And if you don't, that's fine too. Thanks for sticking with us to the end. Till next time, guys. Peace.